Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux. We are here and we're going to be talking about Windows today. Woohoo! Windows! Best operating system in the history of the universe, man. And is Windows more popular than Windows 7 is what we're saying. And this is kind of caused by some bad journalism is why I want to talk about this today. But hey, I won't shy away from a point to talk about how stupid Windows happens to be at times. So let's go ahead and jump over to the comments first. I'm going to go ahead and record this so that we can get a nice cleaner version of it out when the stream is over. Nice and edited for people. So, Michael B., hello there. Apparently Cookie was here too, but has since vanished. Let's see. Peter. Is it Peter? I don't know. Peter. I still don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry, man. That's more popular. Majority over Windows 7 is the ability to install and using Windows 10 without activation. Yes, you can install Windows 10 without activating it. It just disables the customization, which actually locks you into maximum data collection. How fun. Can I hire you to help me migrate my domain and hosting? Yes. We will need to talk. The email is always the hairy part. It kind of depends on how that's all set up, but most likely we can do that. Olivia, hello there. C to Das Boss. Quint Berkeley, hello there, Mr. Quint. And her first video will be up tomorrow. Very cool. Check out Quint Berkeley's channel tomorrow. Lemler, how's it going there? How are you? Windows 10 is Microsoft's version of the evil incarnate. Yep. Vladimir likes Windows 7 way over Windows 10. Yep, there you go. In which respect do you mean more popular? That is the crux of our question, Paul. We can't go by the numbers. We can't go by the numbers. Like, how many people wanted to keep Windows 10 and couldn't because Windows 7 and couldn't because Windows 10 came over and said, I'm beating you up, you little bully. Windows 10's like a giant bully, and then it comes in and just sucks tentacles all over the place. You're kind of like turning to like the Matrix. You're like a battery powering the beast that is Microsoft. Hello there, welcome to live chat. How are you? It is good to see you. You want to say something more than just that today? I don't know, I guess not. Joseph, how's it going there? Windows 10 is a watered-down system. I agree. Hello, Jesse Crypto. I meant to reply to your email. I haven't gotten to it yet. Eventually. I'm still getting caught up from the new year, but I think most of us are that. How does this apply to Linux? Because I'm going to use this as an opportunity to tell people to switch to Linux. Bill Bob, Joe Bob, Bill Bob, Henry Bob. How's it going there? Comes navigating the system and ease of use. Windows 7 takes the prize. Yeah, mostly because of the customizability. Like, I don't like the overall UI of Windows 10 is not my favorite, but that doesn't bother me as much. What bothers me the most about Windows 10 is I can't edit the menu. I'm a minimalist. I want to pull up a little menu and have exactly what I need. You can't edit the menu. It's like a giant app menu, and it drives me crazy. Let's see. The more I use Linux, the more I realize how much Windows is a watered down system that makes it easier on us. Correct, and easier on us makes us dumber. Windows 10 is better for navigation. If you're used to keyboard function, that is probably correct. Let's see. Paul says Windows 10 is hideous. I think the menu is hideous. The rest of the theming is not my cup of tea, but I don't know. Quit using Windows ever since... ... Come on, Kabbalion Sciences. Don't leave us in the dark. Work we have a Windows server. They're so annoying, and the fact you regularly have to restart them for updates is a nice feature. Yep. Appearances are indeed subjective. That is correct. Windows 10 equals Windows Spyware Edition. Yep. Boy. Let's see. The reason I banned Windows 10 was the updates, the bloat, and the memory efficiency. Windows 10. There you go. There's only Windows computer in my house. It's my dad's, and it has not been turned on in years. It's like the old ancient thing. Like, what is this thing? Hey, pizza's here. Pizza. We're just here for the kitty. All right. Hey, that's no problem. Yep. I'm sure he'll be back. He'll be back. Digital Entity, how's it going there? Windows 10 is more popular because because Microsoft was and is still shoving it down people's throats. Yep. It's not the straw that broke the camel's back that they dropped the camel right off the Empire State Building on that one. Yes. Rather suffer through a Gen 2 install than go back to Windows. Yep, yep. Whatever. Peter's the English variant. All right, I shall call you Peter. Pietrek or Pietrek. Okay, I don't know. Never got so many spammers and trolls in the streams. First time streaming in like 3 months. Probably not going to be streaming again for a long time. I banned like 4 people. Uh-oh. Hello, Lance. Greetings. So I have a VM for Windows 10. That's what I have. I have a VM with Windows 10 on it. Yeah, Pizza did the stream just before I did. Hello. The Pix Nuna is here from France. Greetings, France. Hello, Isaiah Briggs. Greetings to you. Do you recommend Linux Mint to a beginner with tons of Windows experience? Absolutely. I think Linux Mint is just an absolutely fabulous all-around Linux distro. Would I still be on Windows without the data collection? Yeah, if it wasn't for data collection, I'd still be on Windows. So maybe it's a blessing they crammed all that data collection in there. I don't know. Rose, hello there, Rose. Windows 10 helped me switch to Linux. I feel Windows 7 was way better than Windows 10. Yep. I love Windows 10 because it pushed so many people to Linux. Hello, Carbon Programmer. How are you? Windows. All right, we're going to go ahead and re-roll the intro so I can go ahead and record this. And I think this will be a fun one. So... Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, today we're going to talk about, is Windows 10 more popular? This is taken from an article from The Verge, and this was an example of really bad journalism, in my opinion. And it's the headline of this article simply reads, Windows 10 is now more popular than Windows 7. Now, popular is a point of desire. Popular is something that people like, people want. That's popular. Okay, Windows 10 has more users now than Windows 7 because Microsoft pulled Windows 7, crammed 10 down people's throats, and just sits there and goes, there's no other thing you can do. You want future upgrades, you got to pay us for it. Not only that, but they backported all the crap that made Windows 10 suck. And so we're going to look at this article, which is very bad journalism. Windows 10 is now more popular. No, Windows 10 has a higher user base than Windows 7. Acceptable title. More popular means people want it. If you take a cross-section of people, most people were happy with Windows 7, and given the option, if Windows 7 kept going this way, perpetual upgrades, and I could still go to the store and buy Windows 7, and Windows 10 came this way, and in its current state, and people had the consumer choice between 7 and 10, the vast majority of people would still pick 7. 7 is more popular. But finally, after 3 years, Windows 10 finally overtook Windows 7 in data use. So Verge, hire journalists who can actually put together better articles. I actually pull a lot of my articles from The Verge because of how stupid it is. So Microsoft finished 2018 as the world's most valuable company, but also passed an important milestone for Windows. The latest Windows 10 operating system is now the most popular desktop in the world. No, go back to school. Learn what the word popular means. I would say Windows 7 is the most popular operating system in the world. Well, for desktop computers, I'll say. I think that more people probably have Android phones than that by far. So anyway, according to Net Applications, we'll jump over there in a moment, but Windows 10 held 39.2% of desktop market share in December compared to 36.9% in Windows 7. It's a statistic that's taken Microsoft 3.5 years to achieve and demonstrates just how popular Windows 7 has been since its release nearly 10 years ago. See, and this is the reason. If Windows 10 were more popular than Windows 7, it would not have taken 3 years to get here. What has happened is people's computers have died. Windows forced updates. things broke where somebody had to push an update, a lot of factors occurred. Don't sit here and tell me it's more popular, because popular implies desire. Forced Gestapo tactics implies we want to see stats. You know, it's the same thing like Apple. You know, Apple comes out with iOS 7, which was a UI nightmare. It looked like a unicorn got into their design application and took a dump all over the place. And then they're like, it's the most popular iOS application. Yes, because you push it to every device on the system without really a choice. That doesn't make it popular. That makes it Gestapo tactics to bring up the numbers so that you think that you do a good job. It's like WordPress and Gutenberg. Oh my Lord, look at how many people are using it. Yes, because you forced everybody to use it. Look at your stats. Nobody wants it. Windows is like the same thing. All right, so this article, basically it just looks at the stats. Market shares and milestones is an important one. It comes out just a year before Microsoft ends its extended support for Windows 7. So in other words, next year, and right about 1 year from now, Windows 7 will no longer have security updates, and so it will effectively be like a dead system. All right? And so that's something to keep in mind. Now, what I thought was fascinating is some of the comments. Particularly this first comment is quite hilarious, and we're going to spend some time debunking this. Mr. Uzzy says, outside of enterprise and compatibility issues, there are there still any valid reasons to stick with Windows 7? Parentheses, the forced updates and the dubious privacy concerns aren't really valid reasons. I'm sorry, but they are the most valid reasons. Why are they the most valid reasons? Well, first let's look at this data collection. If you are unaware, if you have just basic telemetry turned on, this is what it collects. This is basic. Okay. I mean, Xbox stuff, the current user ID. So if you're logged in, you have your current user ID, various applications, the type of license authorized. So, you know, whatever you're using. So they know if you're using, you know, subscriptions, discs, whatever else. I mean, some of these, a lot of these things are absolutely identifiable information. So with this, Windows collects a lot of data. This is the basic telemetry. Now, I had somebody leave a comment on my channel just a couple days ago saying they went into their Microsoft account and downloaded all the things and said the things that it knew. There were even voice print recordings from Cortana, including just background conversations, a few things that he believed were movie clips, and just so much stuff. This is the basic data collection. I switched to Linux because of this, okay? Now, yes, some of this stuff is just basic system information, but still, it should always be my choice whether I send them any data at all. And this is the minimum setting you can turn data collection on. Why is this so important? Well, this is so important because of data breaches, all right? They are collecting this data. The vast majority of people still using Windows have no idea how much data is being collected. And data that is being collected, and by the way, since I've been scrolling, I am here. This is about maybe 15 or 20% of the way up the screen. This is how much stuff this is. Okay, here's a list of data breaches. So the 2018 ones, WordPress data breach, just kind of unknown. By the way, the botnet is still going. Under Armour, 150 million records were stolen. Typeform, an unknown amount due to poor security. Ticketfly, 26 million user points. Oh, this was a good one because this is a government medical database of 1.5 million user Reddits, an unknown amount of Reddit users, 100 million Quora users. I mean, look at this, guys. 92 million records from MyHeritage, 500 million records from Marriott. I am never staying at a hotel again. 50 million Facebook records, 9.4 million from Cathay Pacific Airways. Data hacks, leaks are all over the place, and it's way better to not have data out there. So it's best if our systems are not collecting it to begin with. I don't care about this, but we take your privacy seriously. I don't care if you take it seriously. I don't want you to have it. If you're really serious about taking my data seriously, you won't collect it because I don't want you to. All right. So this is just some companies. This is just 16 popular stores. If you've shopped at any of these 16 stores, your credit card data was probably stolen. Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen, Macy's, Adidas, Sears, Kmart, Delta, Best Buy, Saks Fifth Avenue, Lord & Taylor, Under Armour, Panera Bread, Forever 21, Forever 20, face it, you're 40, man. Sonic, Whole Foods, GameStop, Arby's. I mean, these are just data breaches this last year of 16 stores. Not to mention the health data, these are records of healthcare breaches, phishing attacks. 2 phishing attacks in a Minnesota Department of Health Services breached 21,000 patient records. A CMS responds to data breach affecting 75,000 in federal ACA portal. 3 phishing hacks breached 20,000 patient records here. Guys, this is why I don't actually go to the doctors, because I don't want the doctor to be storing my information on a computer system. 3 Massachusetts hospitals fined nearly $1 million for HIPAA and OCR violations. I don't know what the OCR violation is. I know the HIPAA violation is. Employee error exposed Blue Cross patient data for 3 months. 417,000 Augusta University Health patient records breached 1 year ago. Phishing attacks breached 38. Guys, this is why we don't want data collection, all right? This is why we don't want data collection. So this guy over here, oh, this isn't a really valid reason. Yes, it is. What are you, the world's stupidest idiot? I mean, really? I mean, I don't really mean offense, but yes, forced updates and privacy concerns. This is not dubious privacy concerns. This is a lot of data that's being collected. This is a lot of data that's being collected, and they're keeping it, and they're storing it, and they're putting it in their backup files, and unknown amounts of employees have access to this. This is not dubious privacy. No. And you know what? I read through several of these comments, not all of them. You know, there's a whole lot of sheep that don't understand this. Now, there are valid reasons you might need to keep a Windows system laying around. Most of us in the Linux world, we have Windows thrown on a virtual machine. I mean, come on, I could click on this button right up here, click on this other button, and I'll have a Windows 10 machine running for us right now if I wanted to. If you're an avid gamer, sure, you probably have a Windows machine laying around. If you are in some type of field where you have to have certain software, I get it. But my argument is all personal computing stuff, your personal emails, your personal backup files, anything you do on a computer for yourself, your entertainment, all these things should be done on Linux. It's perfectly fine and perfectly stable for that, and it works out just well. All right. Now let's tackle his other one. These forced updates. Why is this a big deal? Well, if you have been under a bridge this year, or you're in this community and you don't follow Windows as much, if you go into the Windows security system and you click this button, check for updates, guess what? You've just opted yourself in to receive unstable beta updates for your computer. Raise your hand if you knew that. This is quite hilarious. And, you know, it's like, and I would do this a lot when I still had the Windows computer laying around because I needed it for helping clients and things. I found I just didn't need it for a while, so I got rid of the thing. But every now and again, it's like, okay, I don't have anything. My computer's not really busy doing anything, so I'll go in there, I'll click the button and have it checked for updates because I don't want it to be doing any update crap the next time I turn it on, because if I turn the thing on, I need to be working with somebody. And so if you've actually gone into your system settings and clicked this check for update button, it is actually signing you up for beta unstable updates. You have now become the beta testers because Microsoft kicked off the QA team, which exactly makes perfect sense because when Microsoft pushed out this major Windows update, it got sent out to a lot of people. It just started deleting everyone's files. But if you were signed up to OneDrive and had your files in Microsoft's personal proprietary cloud, you could pull your files back down. I mean, come on. This forced update, which upgraded on people's computers without their consent, deleted their files. What's their solution? Oh, you know, the solution, oh, just make sure you have regular backups. Yes, guys, make regular backups. You need to have on-site and off-site backups, and I do not recommend backing up anything to the cloud unless you encrypt it first. Encrypt it and send the encrypted mass file to the cloud. That is okay, but still, I keep a copy of it here, and I keep a copy of my data in a safety deposit box. If this whole place burns down, I have lost only 1 month's worth of data or less. All right, that is the way you want to do things. But regardless, they push this update out. By the way, after all this comes out, for 3 months, it has been reported by the actual beta testers who were aware they were beta testers that this thing was deleting files. For 3 months. They never resolved it. They just pushed it out. And people's updates just kind of happened. Of course, after that one came out, they sent out another patch which broke Microsoft Office. And then they sent out this one here. This was back in December 8th. Another patch messed up Outlook. What was the fix? Listen to this. The fix is just don't use Outlook for a while. Really? You're just going to tell people not to use their email client for 2 weeks? Yeah, guys, we live on email these days. I'm a developer. I work out of 3 offices that aren't in my state, and if my email's not working today, I got problems, you know? And this is just hilarious. Needless to say, Outlook 2010 users were not amused. To make matters worse, Microsoft advised users not to uninstall the patch, but rather to wait for the next patch. Bravo, Microsoft. Bravo. You're competent, sir. So, going back to this guy's concerns, forced updates and dubious private concerns aren't valid reasons. No, these are the 2 biggest reasons. Because I don't need my system to automatically update itself and delete all my files. I don't need to send every bit of information about me, how I use the computer, names and lists and files in my computer. I don't need to be sending all that stuff to Microsoft. They have no business collecting it. We are in a world where data hacks are occurring left, right, and center. It's best to minimize your digital footprint. And you cannot minimize your digital footprint with a Windows computer. So this is, of course, Switch to Linux. I recommend utilizing the Linux operating system. There's a variety of different operating systems, and frankly, you can come in and you can follow the videos here, and I'll teach you how to install Linux on your hardware. And guys, you can go out to the store and pick yourself up a little flash drive for about 20 bucks and throw Linux on that so you can get used to it and you can start building a flow. I don't advise you to just delete your Windows 10 computer now and just jump cold turkey onto Linux. You want to ease into it. So here's some practical steps. I have videos about all these. Step number 1. Start looking at which types of software you need to use. Don't say, can I get X application to work on Linux? Say, what do I use X application for. So for example, don't ask, how do I get Microsoft Office on Linux? Say, how do I do Office Suite on Linux? And the answer is, the best answer is LibreOffice. So of course, LibreOffice is, and there's several other offices as well. There's LibreOffice, OpenOffice, WPS. There are a lot of them. I personally use LibreOffice. It is completely full-featured, absolutely full-featured. I write my books on this application, so it does everything. It's completely free, and it is also cross-platform. So whether you're using a Windows or a Mac or anything else, then you can actually come over here and you can grab it. So it detects I'm on Linux, so it's offering me a Linux download file. So a deb, of course, it should offer me the deb file, not the RPM. Here's the Mac OS, and here is this would be a 32-bit Windows computer. I'm sorry, you can't see my drop-down menus. But I'm just pulling down this drop-down menu here, and Windows x86-64 is one of the options. So you can just go ahead and grab it. I think, are they down here too? Yep, they're down here as well. So here's your operating systems here. So you can actually come over here, you can download this, and what I'd recommend to do is find these types of applications, put them on your existing Windows computer, and learn how to use them. Because then when you have switched as many of your software packages possibly conceivable over, then you can now jump over to Linux and not miss a beat. So of course this guy here, it's going to behave just like your Word application. So for example, I'll go ahead and boot this guy up for you so you guys can see what it looks like. So this is the application here for writing Word documents. Now this does still follow the older toolbar. It is possible to put that modern ribbon toolbar on. I do not do that because I absolutely hate that thing, but you can actually go ahead and do that. So this will, you can even come up here, you can save as, you can save it as the open text formats. If you do need to save it in a Word document to send out to somebody, you can just go ahead and grab the docx file there. It will work just fine. So you can save it in any type of format that you want. You actually have added benefits that you can do things like print out labels without having to download all of the you don't have to download all of the label templates and build them out. And I have entire tutorials about how to do this kind of stuff. Full databasing ability is all in there as well. So LibreOffice is an excellent application for doing that. So suppose you need something like, if you need something like Photoshop, GIMP is certainly one of the best image manipulation programs. So this is effectively a Photoshop replacement. Once again, you can download it for your existing system, Linux, Mac, and Windows. You can download it there. Also, if you need that, and there's some other ones, there's another one called Krita. And Krita is also very much like it. This is more geared towards illustrators, but it does have a lot of overlap with Photoshop functionality as well. If you need to use like drawing tablets, Krita is generally the best one. Once again, cross-platform, so you can download these directly on your existing computer without having to just jump everything over. And that's kind of what you can do. So ask yourself that for every application. Now, there's going to be some instances, like I said, that you might need to keep Windows around for. That's perfectly okay, but my recommendation is to make sure that all of your basic private stuff, your personal emails, your personal budget sheets, your personal letters, all that kind of stuff is on Linux, because Linux in general, few exceptions, but Linux in general does not engage in data collection. And so it's going to be a private system, a very stable system, and a very secure system. So that's my thoughts. No, I think that this Verge article is completely incorrect, that it is, Windows 10 is not more popular. Windows 10 has just been forced on everybody. That's just the reality of it, which is a sad reality, but a reality. is we're moving more and more towards this world. Yes, the forced updates is a big deal. Yes, the data collection is a big deal, and that is the chief reason that I think you should switch over to Linux for as many operations as you can. So you can have a look at this channel, have a look at DistroTube, have a look at Total OS Today, Pizza Lovin' Nerd. A lot of other channels out there are doing some great videos about getting into and getting started with the Linux world. So thanks for coming along, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. All right, well, thanks for coming along, everybody. We have a bigger quorum than usual. We are presently sitting at 94 viewers. We peaked at 102, and a welcome. So now we will hang out for at least a half an hour longer. Let me get through as many comments as I can. So feel free to leave your comments, and I will get to them eventually. All right. You have to find a way to get Windows 10 to work in a productive environment. Yeah. 10 isn't so bad. An aspect of functionality, however, is rebuilding settings. Management is annoying, almost like Google. I'll be back in 40. All right. Interesting fact. I found out you can install app images system-wide using the WaterFox method. Oh, cool. That's neat. Maybe I'll have to look into that. Carbon Programmer as well. Very good. Very good. Walking my bro to 7-Eleven. Oh, walking a bro to 7-Eleven before he tells my mom I won't go with him. All right. Hey, yeah, keep your brother safe, man. Keep your brother safe. And spend time with your brother. That's always important. Windows can't make the transition too quickly. They tied down with support for older machines. Just because something is used often does not mean it's more popular. Yep. Windows 8 wasn't that bad. Yeah. It never got user base, you know. Did not Microsoft force Windows 7 users upgrading Windows 10? A lot of them did. You prevented it if you were being highly diligent and blocked updates. Which I did. Unfortunately, Windows 10 comes pre-installed most computers, which is why it's a high level of popularity. Yep. Yeah, I didn't mind Windows 8.1. At least The Verge was smart enough to delete their how to build a computer video. Verge isn't journalism. No, probably not. Next year, Microsoft will be cutting support for Windows 7. Yep. Where's the cat? He's around here somewhere. Kitty. Hi. It's not time for your food yet, but people are asking about you. Come here. Come here, buddy. And it's not time for your treats yet, but... Hello, peoples. How you doing, buddy? You okay? Yeah? Wanna sit up here for a little bit? I'm not ready to give you your treats yet. A little bit, we'll have your treats. All right. I like Windows 95 more. There you go. Windows 2000 was okay. Don't get me started on ME, though. Yeah, we had one my Windows ME, Mistake Edition. Yep. Yeah, we had one Windows ME in our lab in grad school, and it was never used. Really have been living under a rock for quite a while. Doing fine, but going back to work. All right. Apple actually created a new UI, did they? I don't know. I'm building a newer water-cooled computer. Going to use Linux with Windows 7 and virtual machine. There you go. Unloved Spoon is on Ubuntu. Very cool. Tom should be on fire with this Gutenberg crap. Oh, I am on fire with the Gutenberg crap. I have been diligently, it's part of my daily routine now, to go to the Gutenberg plugin webpage and watch all the negative count go up. It was rated at 2.3 stars when it was integrated into the core, and it is now down to 2.0. Although it should be closer to, I'd say 1.3 maybe, because of the sheer number of reviews that are listed as 5-star that should be 1-star. So yeah, it's Gutenberg is quite the thing. Maybe if we get some time, we'll look at some of the recent comments on that. Hello, Sleepy. Greetings. Who's on Debian? Not right this second. I'm still rocking Fedora over here. Maybe Windows 11 will remove the software in that stupid tile menu system. Unloved Spoon's my biggest fan. Well, thank you, Unloved Spoon. Real fight, Windows versus Mac. Yeah. I predict MS will release an OS on Linux someday. What fight? Mac isn't a competitor. Yeah. I talked to some of my classmates about Windows 10. They tell me the forced updates can be annoying, especially if they need to finish schoolwork. Yeah. Sorry, teacher. I didn't hand in my paper. My Windows forced an update last night and deleted it. Believe you can pay for security updates. Yes, you can pay for, it's actually for 3 years. I think they're offering a payment model for security updates. I think it's another 3 years though. I forget. The Verge fanboys are as bad as the Verge writers. Oh yeah, they are. They got some bad Kool-Aid over there in that coffee. Well, it was Flavor Aid, by the way. It's a misnomer that Jonesboro was Kool-Aid. It was actually Flavor Aid. Thing that got me off Windows was not the spying and data collection. It was the lack of control over many things. That was, for me, that's probably what planted the early seeds. Windows 8.0 for me was like, okay. And then I got Windows 8.1 and it forced that OneDrive crap. It's like, dude, I will never use OneDrive. I just want to uninstall it. Nope, can't. Permanently integrated. Well, I'm not using you, so go away, you know. Be a violation of GNU unless they made it open source. They aren't going to compete with open source using it. I was on Debian for a week till I switched to Ubuntu. Switched because there were more Ubuntu tutorials and I was unfamiliar with Linux. That's a valid reason. Plus, Microsoft is injecting advertising into the OS. Yep. Won't be able to make the stream again. Oh. Yeah, I guess the kids are still on vacation, I guess. But yeah, we will be doing a supporter stream tomorrow at about 7 o'clock, I think. Speaking of Windows, I was trying to use Wine to run Universal USB installer and didn't recognize my flash drive. Remember when Microsoft was about creating an operating system and not collecting people's data? Yep. Microsoft likes writing garbage, especially long garbage. My computer recognizes a flash drive USB, but the installer doesn't. My guess it has to do with a Wine driver. You probably will need a driver for Wine to recognize the USB drive. That's kind of my thought. Think if Google becomes platinum member of the Linux Foundation, Google is the worst privacy violator on the planet. Yeah, I've talked about that in a few different videos. Very frightening. Last Microsoft operating system I used before switching to Linux was Windows 7. Yep. Yes, the botnet is still hitting people on WordPress websites. There's a giant botnet trying to brute force into WordPress websites right now. Facebook has poor security? Yeah. Guessing all those companies use Windows. Yeah. Would love to use Linux if only it would install as easily as Windows and then run as easily out of the box. Honestly, it does. In fact, you can get a Linux distro up and running way faster than Windows, and if you're using the right one, like use Linux Mint, it's going to be pretty rock solid. It's going to install very easily, and it's not going to give you any issues. Well, most likely won't give you any issues. As my doctors always record all the diseases and medical tests on a computer system, I never really questioned it. Hello, Anna Rita. Greetings.
Hi, Anna Rita. Where's my digital girl?
Is there anyone who does not even use a Windows machine at all? Yeah, there's some people that don't. Olivia does not. Rational Pragmatist rarely uses it. A game on Linux, if I can't make it run on Linux, it's just not important. I will not support a game dev that won't support Linux. Yep, absolutely. When 1809 was a disaster, every Windows 10 was a disaster. Isaiah's off to work, so we'll see you later. Louie, greetings from Linux Mint Debian Edition 3. Very cool. Safe to say that Windows 10 is the worst version of Windows since ME, probably. Father's going to buy a new computer, but he already told me, Anna, make sure you have that fast OS installed on it. I said, yep, bet your sweet money I'll install Linux on it. There you go. Some of the chat can help you out, but at least they have a deal with what the problem is. Yeah, my guess is it's you would need to install USB drivers for Wine. You're better off using Linux or Apple computer and stay away from Microsoft. Yeah, I'd definitely use Linux before Apple. Apple doesn't collect as much, but still collects some. Apple Linux are the only alternatives to Windows. I mean, there's a few other little tiny odds and ends that are fairly insignificant, like BSD and things like that. But yeah, I won't support Apple. Never liked Windows. They always had problems with updates and getting the blue screen. Yep. RactOS is an alternative, but it's not that great yet. Yeah, it's been in alpha for like 15 years. It's been in alpha since Windows XP was new. Do not use email, okay? If you are a business, what do you do? I mean, if it's a business email, I'm talking about personal email. If it's a business email, then yeah, I guess you gotta use Outlook, you know. Oh, I remember what you're talking about. Yeah, Microsoft telling people just don't use Outlook for a while, yeah. I haven't used Outlook since 1998, yeah. Linux is mostly used in supercomputers and other major industries, yep. Here's a fix. Don't use Outlook. Use Thunderbird. Yep. Would I recommend Chrome OS? Probably not. I'm not a big Google fan. So Proton Mail, Gmail. Yep. Hello, Babbler. Greetings. Many businesses use Outlook. Yep. Computer recognizes a flash drive, but USB installer doesn't while using Wine yeah, okay. Proton Mail here is lying about data collection. Is that true? Actually, TechLore just did a video on covering that issue last night. No. What happened is two guys who don't like Proton Mail, who call themselves professional security analysts, they have a problem with the fact that Proton Mail uses a web client that validates your encryption. And it really is a non-issue. In fact, it's still more secure to use the web client than it is to use the app. But TechLore did a video on that, so you refer you to TechLore's channel, and you can see what he says about that. Sucks about Linux gaming isn't what it could be. It's a lot I knew. Richard Stallman recommends to always pay with cash to protect your privacy in real life. That is why I pay with cash for nearly everything. Thinking of using Linux Ubuntu, it always runs better than Microsoft Windows. Yeah. Ubuntu's good. Yeah. LibreOffice wants me to use Fedora. Probably. I would use Linux Mint before I'd use Ubuntu. Honestly, I think it works a little bit better, and it's going to be a more familiar UI to you if you're coming from Windows. Wife just got home and told me work sucks, need martini, and then saw I was watching Tom. She said, "Oh, good. Is he on fire yet?" I need to build the fire screen on this view of the office. You can run MS Office on Linux with Wine. Yeah, but I'm not sure why I'd want to, personally. For the person trying to get the USB thing to work, why not just grab a copy of, I mean, I don't know how big your system is, but you could grab a copy of the ISO image for Windows 10, install it in a virtual machine, and you can pass the USB drive over to the Windows machine inside a virtual machine and use that tool. But if it's the tool for like, I don't know what you're trying to do. If it's the tool though for like unifying Logitech drivers, there's actually an open source version that is a Linux application that you can use. I'm not sure what you're trying to do on it though, but. Left the computer for a minute. OMG, feel silly now, yeah. You can also run Office 365 through a browser on any OS. Yep. Jar says Windows 7 is greater than Windows 10, and I agree completely. I heard simple things like images, videos, and audio can contain malware. Yes, absolutely correct. In fact, that's how they were demasking people downloading naughty files off of Tor Network. Basically, you put a malware inside the file itself, and it would circumvent the Tor, particularly if you're using Windows in a Tor browser. It would circumvent the browser and connect directly to the internet and ping home outside of the system by putting malware inside of those files. So yeah, images, pictures, video, all those types of things, yes. I lost my place. Oh boy, this is going to take us a while. I don't know if we'll finish. I don't know if we'll get to all these. Funny about Windows 10 is the fact it didn't have drivers for my motherboard or installation image, but Debian, which is known as a distro with the most outdated packages, does. Yep. Well, as long as you don't mean Google using Linux on Android. Yeah, well, I use Lineage, though, so I've pulled all of the proprietary Google stuff out of mine. Not really popular, just new machines coming out with Windows 10, and some of the newer machines don't have hardware that's backwards compatible. Yep. Remember, a teacher at school told me the teachers are forced to be on Apple or Microsoft. Yep. LibreOffice and GIMP are great. Yep. I do all my book production in those. Happy New Year, and viewers. Well, thank you, and Happy New Year to you as well, T-Rex. All right. Found USB installers that work on Linux, but I don't know how to make my live boot persistent with the other ones. But got cranky baby, might not be able to catch much. Oh. I thought you got cranky baby, but no, you got a cranky baby. Got it. And here who avoids social media and is still in school. Yeah. The fact that Windows 10 updates and resets privacy should be a good indication of Microsoft's intentions. Yeah, every time you run a big update on Microsoft, it does reset all your privacy. Yeah, we need to give more companies like System76 more money so we promote more people using Linux. You know what? I would absolutely send people to System76 if they made low-end, low-spec computers for basic users. The cheapest thing you can get over there costs you over $1,000. Man, what are we, Apple users? We're not spending $1,000. We're Linux users. We dumpster dive and figure out how to get something to work on it. Give us low-end spec computers that we can get that are still good quality, that we can put Linux on for a few $100. And dude, I will be sending people left, right, and center to System76. But as long as they want to start their computer bases at over $1,000, I'm just not going to send people over there. It's just too much for your average user. Windows 8 support ends in 2023. Too bad nobody's using Windows 8. I mean, Windows 10 is like your crazy ex-girlfriend who's not go away no matter how much you tell her to take a hike. Yep. I know people says Linux distros are limited on PC, but Chrome OS looks even more limited than any Linux distro. Linux isn't limited on PCs. It depends on what distro you're using. My grandma's desktop and rerouted DNS to 1.1.1.1. Very cool. Sorry, class. I cannot display my lesson presentation because my Windows machine forced an update on me. Just whether like it or not, subjective matter. Remember, I do server admin. Arch can be more complex than servers under any distro, yeah. Do I run Linux Mint 19.1? No, I'm still running 18.3. One of the things I like about Linux Mint is the fact it's stable without having to push constant updates. I'm not a person who updates everything just because there's an update up to push it. Not a big fan of that. So no, I'm not on 19.1. I would say if the computer had crashed and I need to reinstall it, I would probably put 19.1 on it. I'm not sure I'd go back, but at this point in time, I'm not going to bother pushing the system up to it. I say I don't remember last time I installed Windows in less than 15 minutes. Every Linux distro is 15 minutes or less. Yeah. You get a huge one, it might be 20, 25 to download everything. But yeah, for the most part, you're up and running on Linux in 15 minutes. Man, every time I've ever had to rebuild a Windows computer, it's an entire day. You got to install all the crap, and then you got to update all the crap, and then you got to remove all the bloatware, and then you got to install all of your applications. It just takes forever. Man, Linux, boom, 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 you're done, including adding and removing what you don't need and what you do and don't need. Time to go to church. We'll see you later, Lamer Linux. Say a prayer for me, man. Nothing in particular, just, prayer's good. Let's just hope Caremont's health epic doesn't go down because many lives depend on it, yeah. Greetings, Ricky. How are you? Most annoying is Windows 10 that annoys you to use Microsoft account instead of a simple user account. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Windows 10, it's all about Windows and work groups 311, yeah. We're back up to 99 viewers. So for you guys that just jumped on later, I'm going to be releasing the Windows talk part as a separate edited video later. We're just going through the comments now. Feel free to hang out when I hit the bottom of the comments. I'm going to feed the kitty and then we will wrap up. So let's see. Tom, is Dell better than Lenovo computers or Acer laptops good? Okay. I have equal luck with Dell and Lenovo. I generally buy Dells when I have the choice. I buy Lenovo's as a backup. Both my Dells and Lenovo's have had no issues. I have had to install Linux on an Acer, which is fairly mixed results. We wanted to do Ubuntu Studio for my friend. We could not get it to work. We went with Linux Mint instead because it works on everything. And even that, there's places where it runs a little hairy. But it's okay overall. I would probably avoid the Acers if you can. They will work, especially since you use Linux Mint. They will work, but Dell or Lenovo are better choices. I personally prefer Dell over Lenovo, but both are going to be good. They both are very good supporters of Linux. If you're only in your browser or LibreOffice, BSD is fine. Yes, there you go. Okay. I've never used Outlook before. Yeah. Every Windows after 7 has been a disaster, and most of them before 7. Yeah, XP was good too. Not a fan of it. One option to connect to Exchange email is to use Hyri. It's cross-platform. Okay. Thunderbird should be able to connect to Outlook as well, the Exchange servers, I think. I know that Evolution can connect to Exchange servers. I remember checking certain IDEs and discovered their terms and agreements require you to allow them to collect data on you. Wow. Cash is the best form of currency. It guarantees your privacy. Yep. I can't properly develop in Java. Tomcat Eclipse keeps crashing every once in a while. I think I'll refresh Windows. Yeah. Wish I could use Windows 7 on my Ryzen system. It says, yeah, Ryzen. Windows 7 is not supported on Ryzen, sadly. But Linux Mint is. Pay with cash pretty soon. You'll be denied service at the hospital because your insurance won't cover you because you buy more potato chips than the national average. Absolutely. And they know that. They know exactly what you put on your credit card every time. We're exchanging their money for a microchip in Sweden. Oh, God. You can easily remove the bloat on Mint, and it's not even that much. Yep. Cash equals not privacy. Cash bills have ID numbers. Yes, while cash bills do have ID numbers, they are not tracked. The ID number verifies that the bill is a real bill and not a counterfeit. It's not used as a tracking tool. You can, in theory, track where a dollar bill goes, but you can't track that back to an individual person. I run Mint VM on ME server also to host some stuff in GUI and just kill the visual effects since it doesn't have GPI. Yeah. Uncle gave me a 250 gig hard drive and putting BSD on it. Very cool. Attempts by many countries to implement a system where you need a microchip of some sort. Yep. Watch TechLord's vids. I wish he did more of his privacy series. Yeah, he'll get to it. He was sick for a while, and then, you know, he'll get back up there. Solar, yeah. If you're trying to do a Logitech reprogram, Solar is a open source Linux distro that can do that. Say if you use apps, if websites are going to the sites on a browser. I generally would use a browser on a device rather than an app because an app has a lot of back-end connections that you may not know about, but the browser is limited by the browser. And of course, I would use Firefox Focus or Firefox Clar because it simply doesn't support a lot of data collection. It's like it can't be supporting your GPS because there's no GPS tracking in it. Which means it doesn't work on some applications, but so what? Good. We failed to find your location. Awesome. Exactly why I'm using this browser. Being on Ubuntu is the moment. It's the minimal install feature. There you go. Yep. I want to look at all my money. I noticed the bills have an ID on them. Passing USB drives to virtual machine on Windows on Linux host didn't work for me when I was trying. Guest Editions was already installed. Mouse pass-through is working, but USB drivers didn't. Yeah, let's see. On Linux, you're going to need to install the extension pack. So in your virtual machine, you want to come up to, I think it's Preferences, Extensions, and you need to install the Oracle VirtualBox extension pack. This is what you need installed in order to get your USB pass-through. So it'll always pass through your mouse and your keyboard. It just won't pass through things. Like your USB drives. You need to install the VirtualBox extension pack for that. Good evening, Steve. How's it going there? Quint's doing a video tomorrow if he didn't reply yet. Okay, another disadvantage using cash. It's also full of viruses. Instead of having a virus that steals your banking info, you will have a virus that might give you explosive diarrhea. There you go. Just don't lick your money. Civ76 is getting, though, give them credit. They need to make money on high margin products before they can mass produce low end. Yeah, well, and what I'm saying is they don't need to stop what they're doing because they have a market. They will do way better if they can add some lower end machines. They will do a ton better with lower end machines. What do I think about ThinkPads? I don't generally use them, but they are very good and they work well with Linux. Total OS Today highly suggests getting ThinkPads. Cash me really filthy. Yep, soaking credit card fraud. Hello, Bud Wolf. Greetings there. How's it going there? Actually use Arch, and I would use Gentoo too, but I'm not ready yet. All right. Yeah, Quinn, are you going to be able to make the supporter stream tomorrow? As long as we got a couple people there, we'll go ahead and run it. Good start for Linux laptops. Spoiled, but Fedora is slower than most of the distros I've tried. Now, the disadvantage of cache is it might have been used by a drug addict to consume narcotics. And Dell laptop for 2 weeks with no fan in it was the Duo Core days, but it did have a dedicated GPU. HP EliteBooks have an option to come pre-installed with OpenSUSE. Can I install Peppermint on my Mint box? Probably. I don't see why not. It's just a quad-core computer. Mint box is actually the same thing that I run for my pfSense router. It's the same device. So the worst is cache has more bacteria than the average toilet. Later, Quint. Greetings, pizza. External monitor says check your cable, then goes to sleep. HDMI cable is plug in right, so is the power to the monitor. What could this be? It could be a bad HDMI cable. I have a bad HDMI cable in my system. I don't use it there obviously anymore, but it's probably the HDMI cable. So try swapping the cables. Yeast and mold can live on cache. That's why I throw money in when I'm making bread. I just kind of throw money in there, and then I get some very nice rising bread with cache, you know. Dan, how's it going there? Billy Bob is my brother, and he knows I'm watching the stream. Billy Bob! What are you doing, Billy Bob? Oh, man. Pizza banned his brother, man. Dude. I'm missing the comments, so... money is king, and it talks like no other type of money. Yep. Tempting fate. Gonna fire up the Windows 10 machine. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, my Fedora's been very stable, so it's been doing pretty good. Dan will most likely make it. Very good. All right. Advocates for cashless societies say cache is filled with disease-causing organisms. Yeah, so are payment card processors. It's called corporate CEOs. Those are disease-causing organisms as well. Fedora Linux looks not run with Facebook. Can imagine someone making bread using their cache during the hyperinflation, yeah. No doubt the stability of such a Fedora, but I guess I'm just spoiled with lightweight distros. I'm running KDE, Fedora KDE. It works pretty nice. Once you get it set up, it works pretty well. Normally, there are some weird interactions between my Ubuntu and my Windows 10. It's a dual boot. Not that I'm... yes, that's why I don't generally recommend dual booting, because you can get some weirdness going on between the systems. All right, we're low on the comments, so we're going to go ahead and feed the kitty. Oh, kitty, we're going to feed you. We're going to feed the kitty. We're going to feed the kitty, and then we'll wrap up the comments. And I'm getting really hungry, so... Oh, don't jump up there. We don't want you to moon anybody. No mooning people, kitty. No mooning people. There you go. Stick your paw in there. Get your paw in there. Oh, you got the paw going. Got the paw going. Go on. Get it. Right there. Get it. It's right in there. You got it. You got it? You got it? Did you get it? I think he missed it. There you go, buddy. Here it is. Let's do one more right here. Aw, and let's do one more from this angle because it's a really cute angle. There you go. Are they finger licking good? They finger licking good? Yeah, they're finger licking good, aren't they? Uh-huh. Brought to you unofficially. All right, I gotta contact one of these companies and say, hey, you know, I just had 90 people watch me feed the cutest cat in the world on a live stream. You want to sponsor me? I mean, come on. We'll work for Temptations. I actually had to go buy some the other day. Right, kitty? Right? I had to go buy some. Yeah. Humans are filled with disease-causing organisms too. Yeah. Now he's telling on me for banning him. All right, I'm gonna go up and see what comment you blocked of his. One more think and I ban you. Yeah, Billy Bob, we don't talk like that on the stream, so I will back you up, Pizza. We don't talk like that on this stream, buddy. You are welcome to watch. You are welcome to communicate, but yeah, we can't have you using those words on the stream, my man. All right. When I turn on Windows 10 computer, I feel like someone's watching me through the webcam. That's because someone is watching you through the webcam. It's Windows 10. They have an entire team of untrained monkeys sitting here watching you. All right. Just wash your hands. Most cases, food poisoning could have been prevented if people washed their hands. Yep. Brenna Brown, to fix the issue with your clock, when you're dual booting and your clock keeps on messing up, the reason is that Windows by default pulls the local time, Linux by default pulls the UTC time. So what you need to do is go into the settings for the clock and switch. It's easiest to just switch your Linux computer. If you're in a dual boot situation, it's easiest to just switch your Linux computer over to the local time and just set the clock there, and then you're always going to have the right time. Let me see if I can find the code to do that. So that would be this one here. So this one here, if you're dealing with the clock issues, I haven't looked at this article, but I'm guessing this is going to be it. So here's what you need to do. Now this is Ubuntu, which should work on most distros. If you're not on an Ubuntu-based distro, then just go ahead and do a similar type of search for something with your distro. So basically here, set local time RTC here to adjust it. And then reboot your system and set your clock, and then it should always be correct. So that's what you need to do if you are having clock issues. Oh, the treats are for the kitty, not me? What? Jokes aside, he has earned a new sub. All right. Welcome back, Billy Bob. All right. Okay. All these YouTube girls can get free bikinis for their try-on hauls. You should be able to get kitty treats. Oh, yeah, I should. I should be able to. Thou shalt not close browser tabs. Okay. See you later, Steven. NSA gets everywhere if they really want to. Nobody's spying on you using webcams. It's just recording. And when you become somebody important in your country, then it will be used against you. Windows knows more about me than I know about me. Yep. What's the clock? Only clock issues I've ever had is disappearing clock in XFCE. All right, guys, we are going to wrap this one up. Thanks for hanging out. We had 101 total view hours today. We had 102 peak concurrent, 82 at the close rate, 377 playbacks. And we are going to, I'll go ahead and do the short video of this. If you just jumped on later, I'll go ahead and put the short video up here sometime this evening. I think I'm going to go cook dinner first, at least start dinner because, yeah. Getting hungry here. So anyway, we will catch you guys later. Thanks for hanging out. There should be a patron supporter stream. I'm trying not to say that. Supporters stream tomorrow for any of the supporters on Think Life Media or on Patreon. The links will be there. If you are a supporter, you want to jump on 7 o'clock EST. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to be talking about. And then I will be doing another live one on the Christian channel tomorrow as well. So you can go ahead and have a look at those. All right. So thanks for coming along, guys, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.